Hi, welcome back to another video in this series. So what we're going to do is slightly different as far as a little bit less technical as far as our topic today for this particular video. So what we're going to do is talk about social engineering reconnaissance, right? So oftentimes a compromise in a company usually begins by attackers searching through social media for personal information that might aid them in gaining legitimate details or by impersonating that person to a business. I mean, we saw this with the casino that was hacked just a few months ago from today, as far as how they were able to gain access to have the ransomware installed into their network and things of that nature, right? So the aim is usually to get access to the initial system that the person either owns or has access to. So from here, the attacker will try to escalate and move through a building or network, gaining access to more interesting areas, more areas where they have more control, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to log into a social media website and exploring and gathering information about, some brand or profile, right? So we're just going to briefly explore like some personal information that social reconnaissance malactors may use as far as typical details that usually should be guarded on any website when reviewing one. So let me have it loaded up here in just a moment. All right, perfect. So we have everything loaded here. We have Internet Explorer ready to go. So I'm just going to head to the social media site here. And don't laugh. All right, so now that we're presented immediately with the profile of someone called Philip Nomad, the front-end software engineer, and we can review the timeline page where recent activities regarding his life are being posted publicly and can be viewed by everyone, right? So we can do a bit of exploring and gathering information from literally just this alone. Now, exploring the site a little further, we can also see that Philip is quite popular with, let's see, just over 1,300 followers, and his job role, and it makes him an interesting target, right? Likely he has personal information that could be used to trick him or to trick a company into thinking that the attacker is Philip. So he's an active member on this site. We're posting just a few minutes ago, right, where he's commented on someone else's photo and he's sharing his album with someone that might be a friend to him in real life. So we can also see that Philip is married and has a wife, the type of clothes that they own on the wedding day, and the background location of the wedding as well. And it would be key if work employees were also invited to the wedding, right? So there are two friends, namely, let's see, John and Alexis, who are close enough to Philip to comment on his pictures. And we learned that there is the possibility of a baby, right? So we'll scroll down a little bit further, right? So then interestingly enough, right, we understand that Philip's car has broken down, and this might be a very useful piece of information for the attacker to begin investigating Philip, his personal life, and make contact with like a car garage to inquire about the vehicle posing as Philip. So now we can scroll up and then we can go to his about here. All right, so he's been kind enough to provide us with his phone number, his date of birth, where he was educated, key information that can be used by attackers to gain the confidence of personnel who might be performing security checks, right? So one of the most common questions is, what is your date of birth, right? So now we have a legitimate answer to respond with. So if Philip was real, we could also begin to search the Oxford University for that database for personal information and see if we get any hits for him, like attending the university and all information that aids in the reconnaissance process. So let's see, we go to the album. All right, so actually, before I even go to the album, we're also presented with his past work experience, right? Working with HP. We could also see the work at Costa. We could search the HP site to see what details would come up about Philip, and it might lead to an attacker to use useful information to convince an IT department that Philip needs his passwords changed, and can they do that for him? And another piece of the puzzle is the possible home location based in Kingston upon Thames. Where is that? Here. Yeah, right here. Right. So Often mobile software these days populates images or posts with details of the user location at the time of posting, right? So I'm just going to scroll up and then I'm going to click on the album, right? So we notice here that his job title has developed, right? And it lists him as a creative director who works in front end software design. So a director role means some very important stuff to do, right? So Philip, he has access to important resources at the end of the day and information, right? So his passwords likely provide him with the admin level of root access to important resources and data in which situations like corporate espionage could be very lucrative, right? So this is an album which was shared, and we could see that he enjoys going to raves, scenic views, and possibly he has a small pug dog, which again is a classic question. What's the name of your pet, right? Pet names, date of birth, or pins to accounts, right? So we can also go to his friends. So here we can see Philip has a few contacts which could be worth learning about, right? So we notice that Sophia, right here, she's at Oxford, and it's possible, right, that they attended university at the same time together, right? And also, let's see, Robert Cook, he being a photographer might have more interesting photos of Philip, of his life, providing more assisting into the type of person that he is, right? Giving away characteristics to be used to impersonate him, right? So we can also see, let's see, here, it'll click. I guess not. All right, we can also see that Nina Nomad here, right? Nina, I believe we saw that on the timeline towards the bottom. Let's see. Yeah. So we also noticed that she may be a family relation, right? We see Linda also. Let's see. You see Linda also, who is a software engineer, and she might work with Philip. Additionally, we see James, who's also a CEO in an IT firm, or at a company called IT Farm, sorry. He could have a working relationship that might be useful to learn more about the terms of the type of work that's performed and what access Philip could do at IT Farm, right? So the next stage that's usually used by an attacker is to request a friendship, right? Usually by setting up a fake account. I mean, we've all seen this with information that might trick Philip into accepting it, pretending to work at IT Farm and using that as an excuse to get Philip to access a friendship link. The purpose, of course, is to gain information, which leads to a possible email phishing attack, right? Against the CEO of IT Farm, James Carter, or to social engineer the IT or HR department of Google to get them to change Philip's password, providing them access, right? So we're just going to close this out, right? I mean, there's just a bunch of different ways I could go down that path. I may actually touch on it in a later video, actually. But this will be the end of this video. Again, a bit of change of pace, a little less technical, a lot more of the reconnaissance side of security, right? And how your information, which could be seen as harmless information, well, outside of your phone number. It could be seen as harmless information initially when it's posted, but can actually be used against you, unfortunately, to gain access to do things that bad actors may want to do for various reasons, right? So just want to have an extremely brief recap of what we've done. We just went over social engineering reconnaissance and how it could potentially harm folks into allowing malactors to gain access to things they should not have access to. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.